There's one thing I know for certain, and it is my bangs have never looked more bangy. They look so good right now. Okay, so obviously I just got my hair redone. It was a color refresh appointment with my girl at Deva. Her name's Deva at Helia Holistic Salon and Wellness up in Fredericktown, Ohio. And I love, you guys know, when you're done with your hair, I love how it feels. I have no idea the stuff she uses, but it's just like next level. It's so soft. It feels so clean and light. And we are ready for fall now. So I am happy you're here. We are going to talk about side hustles and how to start a failed business twice. That's me. That's what I do. But it's going to be a chill episode. But also I really wanted to kind of touch on some side hustle options because I feel like the last couple of weeks I've been a little down on the dumps about money, and I just don't want to be like a fartwad when I talk about it on my own podcast. I don't want to be, just all problems, no solutions kind of person. So I made a list of some side hustles that you could try to try to give some positivity to this economy. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of pitch these. And if anyone has tried some of them or has questions about them, I'd love to hear your experience and just kind of have a little dialogue. So I've also, I don't know why I was going to say that. This is my ADHD. I literally was just about to tell you that I had a lot of hot dogs this week and you didn't need to know that. Why? I was just literally about to be like, and I've also had a lot of hot dogs. Why is that relevant, India? I don't know. Theme song. Creatives, are you struggling to keep up with all your clients' needs? Maybe you feel like you're swimming through emails, DMs, texts, and feel like there's no way to keep communication together. Not to mention keeping track of payments, invoices, contracts, and having to freak out at 2 a.m. because you forgot to email a lead client back. Yikes! My entire workflow shifted when I stopped DIYing my approach and switched to HoneyBook. They are a powerhouse CRM, client relations management tool, if you didn't know, that acts as a coworker you've always needed. HoneyBook helps with invoicing, payment tracking, contracts for every session under the sun, scheduling, lead forms, automations, and streamlining communication to one stop for you. Not to mention your clients will notice the professional difference you bring to the table with the HoneyBook tools. If you're ready to step up your business and feel peace of mind with your client's approach, I have an exclusive offer for you. As a thank you for listening to the India and Stuff show, take 50% off your first year of HoneyBook by going to share.honeybook.com/India Jade photo. Or if you're like me and that's way too much to remember, just tap the URL in the show notes. Now back to the show. Okay, now that we're back, I do remember what I was trying to say. It has nothing to do with hot dogs. It has everything to do with your story submissions. You guys, I loved doing the Your First Dates episode. It's like 2 or 3 back if you want to go listen to it. It was so much fun just to read people's little stories and react to them. And I definitely did react live on camera. I had not read those before. And I would love to do it again. And I thought maybe we'll do a spookier one in October, but I thought since we're entering fall, we could do a little secret vibe. So the prompt for this next one is going to be, tell me your secret confessions. So send me your weird, dirty, crazy little secret confessions and I'll read them and react on the show. Again, completely anonymous. So you have nothing to hide, nothing to lose. And honestly, if it's about someone, let's be honest, this podcast doesn't reach very many people, so your secrets are safe here. But anyway, let's talk about business. Let's get down to business. To defeat the Huns. I have started many a business. I am a side hustle girly. I am a fan of the entrepreneur. I love trying new things. And I think there's something in me that maybe it's mismanaged, attention deficit, hyperactive, whatever. Maybe it's just the way I'm wired, but I like activating things. I think I took one of those personality tests a long time ago that was like, you're an activator. You like to start things and empower people to do them. And that's very accurate. I do. I've always been like a, person who starts things, an activator, I guess. And I started like not a nonprofit in high school. I started my business in high school, my photography business. And I was very prone on like doing just anything I could to like help with a cause that I really was passionate about. So like there was this terminally ill child kind of in the school network that I went to. And so I kind of like spearheaded doing a benefit concert for him. And I think we ended up doing 3 years in a row, raising a couple $1,000s to help with their medical expenses and just bringing together like people and time and talent and attention to things that like I cared about. And then in college, there was another kind of an art gallery idea that my friend and I had. So I helped like start that. And we did 2 separate art gallery shows to raise money for causes that we cared about. One was She Has a Name, which helps empower women out of sex trafficking situation. There we go. And the other was for disaster relief through Habitat for Humanity. So all that to say, that's kind of like, proof is in the pudding, I guess. That's kind of my track with it as a younger kid. And then after college, I guess that same motivation just turned from, nonprofits and activating those around me to do something to like, I think really with COVID, when I was just like isolated more, I was like, well, I don't have like my crew around me. Like there's so much power in a multitude of people who work together for a dream, but it just felt like we're all scattered. My closest friends were moving away. We were all over the place. We were moving away. So I kind of turned things inwardly and started just using all that energy and creative passion to make things myself, which typically turned into like a little side hustle or a little business. So on top of my photography, some of you guys know, some of you might have been here for this. I started 2 things in the same year because I'm insane. One was called Bohio. It was a rental company, bringing your Western and Bohemian vision to life in Ohio. Do you like it? Like, I love the ideation phase too of like finding a fun name, and Bohio was perfect for this. So it was like rentals, wedding decor, bridal shower decor, party stuff that you could rent out for your celebration and make it feel warm and Western and Bohemian. So I had things like a peacock chair, a number of vintage, like, really cool vintage trunks, rugs you could rent. You could rent this awesome arched backdrop, candlesticks, table runners, flowers. I have like a marriage arch. You can get married under this arbor. So all that kind of good stuff. And I did that probably pretty consistently for about 1.5 years. And just kind of took a back step from it. I didn't completely stop. I actually have someone renting my stuff as I'm speaking, but it just didn't, the time that it takes to really like push something like that and the storage space. I was just storing all of my stuff in our garage. And I was like, this isn't like the best process, especially if I wanted to compete with the market of other wedding and party rental places. You need a lot of stock and a lot of storage for it. So kind of took a back step on that one, but I started it and I'm really proud of myself for doing that. I had a catalog shoot in my backyard. I had my friend come over to help photograph for me. 2 other friends modeled, and we like set everything up, photographed the inventory. I designed in InDesign like a nice product catalog for it with the pricing, came up with all these rules, made a web page for it, like, the whole thing. And Instagram, started posting about it. And we had a number of weddings that people, would rent them for, a lot of bridal showers and baby showers. So I say that to say that like sometimes you start something and you don't stop because it's bad. You just stop for whatever reason, or you just phase it down, like de-emphasize it in a certain area of life. And I have no regrets on starting that. I think it was super fun. And I got to employ some friends through that. Like I employed friends when I was busy and couldn't drop things off. They would come over and I would get to pay them for their time and help bless their family. For just delivering something. Like I think I paid my friend like $150 once for just driving things there and back on a wedding day. I was like, that's awesome. Like I love being able to employ friends. So that was Bohio. A couple months later of the same year, this was June 2021. And then October of 2021, I launched a second side hustle. This one was called Blue Hour. And some of y'all were here for this. Some of y'all know this. I really, really wanted to, and still want to, create like an ethical apparel line. That's like one of my dreams. Like, I'm talking about products that are not made in sweatshops, where they're manufactured, everyone's getting paid a livable wage, if not more. They are not being overworked. Like, ideally something made in America, so there's like quality control. Like, we do not want the fast fashion, cheap labor vibes. I do not want to wear the pain of these people in the name of look at my clothes kind of thing. Like, I don't want to champion that. I don't want to get rich off the backs of these people who usually are getting paid actual pennies to make all these clothes and keep up with the Shein and Temu trends. And like, I can't, I'm sorry. Like, that's not for me. And so I really wanted to do that. So I went through a long process of looking at different manufacturers, looking at different brands, going through their websites, finding their transparency, finding their sustainability policies, finding their, ethics and how they pay their employees and if they have certain ratings and all these things. It's just a lot, but I really wanted to do it. So did all this research. I found an on-demand printer that didn't make me order like minimums. I didn't want inventory hanging around my house. I didn't want to, have to package everything myself. So I liked that, and they are based in the US. And then I went through the designing phase, drafted a ton of concepts. I really wanted to keep it simple and sleek and elevated. I really, in my wildest dreams, Miss Taylor Swift, I wanted to do monochrome embroidery on the same color shirt. And Taylor Swift literally did the exact thing and the same color that I was like dreaming up wanting to do. But the whole thing is no one wants to buy an $85 sweatshirt from little old me. So I couldn't find the right blue, and then I couldn't find the right embroidery color to match, or it wasn't through this place, or they had it, but it wasn't the right ethical manufacturer. And I'm like running into all these issues. So I eventually just said, okay, I'm just going to do a surplus of catalog. I'm going to design like 6 to 8 pieces when all the research is saying just have 2 to 3. They're right, by the way. So I designed 6 to 8 pieces, and I tried to mix up a couple of my sourcing brands, launch everything. I get some friends together. We do a concept shoot. I did some promo stuff for it. We like recorded a video while I was in Florida, because the whole entire thing was called Blue Hour. And the reason being, as a photographer, you usually aim for the best lighting when you're doing natural photography outside, right? And that is golden hour. That is like right when the sun kind of is about to go down. It's over the horizon, so you get those gorgeous warm beams of sunlight. Then once it slips down, you've got like 10 minutes of that golden glow in the sky. And this happens twice a day, in the morning at sunrise and in the evening at sunset. And so I really wanted to focus not on the golden hour aspect of it, which is kind of overdone and everyone talks about it, but I wanted to like parallel what comes right after, which is blue hour. So this parallel between, blue hour is not the exact moment that photographers like go for, but it's still really special. And there's still a lot of beauty you can make in that time. Like, there's still enough light in the sky. It's like twilight. You can make some magic moments if you're a photographer. And I wanted to kind of parallel that concept of missing the mark, but still creating in the blue. I know, it's so magical. And so I paralleled that with just the idea of like, we often as humans will fail. We're not going to be in our prime the whole time. We're not going to be like as productive or as cool as or fancy as we think we are. But when we're in those off seasons and life isn't the way we thought it was going to be, and when it's not ideal, when it's not golden, there is still beauty to be found. So that was my concept. And I personally think it is such a strong concept. I feel like I'm in college, and that's my concept. But I loved it, and I really wanted to like make that reflected in like cool, ethical, vibey sweatsuits and vibes. I'm saying vibe too much, but I did it. I did the same thing, like launched a website page, launched a social media, got influencers involved, shipped out some product, gave some for free, did an email campaign, and like set all this stuff up for it. And I lost, I think like $540 on the whole process, because I like paid some models. I like bought some people food as a thank you. I gave some inventory away. I ordered a lot of samples, and I like didn't make a profit. I think I sold maybe like 6 items, maybe a few more because like my in-laws bought some, which was very sweet of them. But yeah, and I still love the concept, but I let it happen for like 2 months. It was a pop-up shop because I figured if the sales were going well, I could extend it past the holidays, but it was like October 2021 through December. But I didn't extend it for multiple reasons. There was lots of payments I had to make behind the scenes. And again, that profit margin when you're already like trying to shop sustainably and like source ethically, the blank product with nothing of mine on it before shipping cost is like $35 for like a nice sweatshirt. So then you add the shipping is like 12, and then you add the embroidery is like 3 to 5 per color. And then you're already looking at like a 40 something dollar product before I even make a cent. So if I mean, people aren't going to even pay that much. If I list it as $48, I make like $6. It's like, that's not going to work. So anyway, that's kind of my story with that. But I say that, let me check the time too, because I got a meeting here in a second. Oh, it's about to go off. I say that to say that starting those things was not a mistake. Even though I spent time and money and it didn't quite go the exact way I planned, that definitely was not a mistake or anything that I regret doing in any way. And I would encourage anyone, before I jump into these side hustle ideas, to try stuff. Start where you are, even if it doesn't turn out the way that you think it will, even if it's not profitable. You never know unless you try. And maybe I'll be able to circle back to one or both of those ideas at some point in life. But I'm really happy I got the experience. And now I can say like, oh yeah, I owned a wedding rental company. Yeah, I tried owning an apparel line. I like designed the apparel. Like what? You know what I mean? I think it's more exciting in life to try and fail with a little sparkle than just to be like a phony fart nugget who's just like, no, I'd rather not try because I don't know, what if it doesn't work? What of anything in life is guaranteed to work? Ooh, like nothing. Like try, own that you're trying, and embrace that you're failing if you fail. And honestly, you might not fail, so that'd be awesome. All right, I'll be right back. Have you been dreaming up a photography business but have no idea where to start? Okay, because I think I have something that will change the game for you. Whether your goal is to launch a full-time photography business and shoot luxury weddings all across the world, or simply start a side hustle to bring in a little extra cash in this crazy economy, India Jade EDU is here to help you thrive. Yes, I am talking about getting yourself a photography coach, and lucky for you, I offer just that. You can choose between a 60-minute one-on-one session or a 3-part coaching call suite for more time to learn at your very own pace. In either coaching offer, we can cover all your questions from camera settings to workflow, honeybook setup, finances, pricing, social media marketing, copywriting, blogging 101, Pinterest, SEO, brand auditing, and website creation. Literally, you name it, and I will help you walk away with a clear strategy and practical tools to move the needle and kickstart your business. As a thank you to listening to the show, take 10% off your coaching call. Head to indiajadephoto.com/edu to get started, and make sure you mention the show in the inquiry form. That's indiajadephoto.com/edu. Okay, we are back from our commercial break, which was me having a quick client meeting. And I have to finish this up because the light is leaving fast and I need to go babysit my friend's child. So it takes a village, y'all. All right, so I wanted to hop into these side hustle ideas again because I want to bring more solutions than complaining energy. And maybe if you're in that pinch with money too, going, okay, I maybe don't have a degree, or I don't have, the capacity to leave my house. Maybe you're a full-time mom or stay-at-home dad or something, and you're like, how do I function? I need to pay my bills. Here are some ideas for side hustles that you could potentially start and monetize, and don't be afraid of failing, All right, so number 1, this is going to shock everyone. Photography. Wow. This isn't going to be a surprise to you. I started when I knew nothing, and now I know lots of things, and I educate people, and I host classes, and it's great, and I'm a photography coach. It's a whole thing. Full-time job. What? I don't want to be one of those people that says, oh my gosh, like, not everyone can just be a photographer. You should just, like, stop. No, that's terrible. If you want to try photography, try photography. I firmly believe that, like, everyone should try. Maybe you don't have the skills, maybe you don't have the business knack that it takes, but that's okay. You can still try. And guess what? That's what learning is for. You can always learn, you can adapt, you can pivot. Most people don't know anything about what they're headed into, and that's why we have to stay curious and we have to get excited about these topics, and don't let someone discouraging you on the internet saying, oh no, photography is an oversaturated market. All these white girls with hats. It's okay. And also, you don't have to be a white girl with a hat. You can be any girl or boy with or without a hat and start your own photography business. I think it's great. I think it's definitely one of the most marketable and probably the easiest to get income right off the top. Now, if you really want to start scaling it or get into a very niche industry, the income might not be as you would expect, but definitely don't let that discourage you. There's so much capacity for growth, and there's so much money in the world that, like, I don't think anyone should be scared about stepping on toes if they want to try something that's already been done before. Like, try it. Please try it. I would say if you're going to start from scratch, I offer mentorships. I have a digital shop for products. But even if you don't learn that stuff through me, start where you're at. Let's say you have a small camera, a DSLR, you don't know what to do. Google it, YouTube University it, read your owner's manual, find time to get models for free in front of your camera, learn your camera basics, shoot in manual, post things on Instagram, and start with headshots, start with family photos, start with documenting your own life, and then people get interested, and then they'll start booking you, and you will hopefully be happy. But that's just like my 2 cents on photography. Great side hustle, worth starting if you're interested. Another one, secondhand pop-up shops. Now, I'm a thrifty gal. You guys know this. Everything I'm wearing right now is thrifted. This shirt, look at that. So cute. Rodeo. It's from Shein, but don't get mad at me because I thrifted it. So it's fine. But secondhand pop-up shops are this thing I've been seeing, which I really love. Well, maybe I take that back. Maybe I don't really love them, but I like the concept. It's basically like a mobile antique mall or a secondhand or a thrifting shop on wheels. It's basically someone with hopefully some taste going to a thrift store or Goodwill bins or their own closet and like sourcing clothes that have already been worn, washing them, caring for them, and then reselling them for whatever price they seem fit. The reason why I like them personally is because the curation, like, you know, if you're shopping at your favorite store, curated items catch your eye better, you can see the vision better, and it feels more succinct. The reason why I don't love them all the time is that people can go to Goodwill and buy a pair of Jordans for 4 cents and then turn around, dust them off just a little bit, and sell them for $300. And so sometimes the markup feels a little like, huh? But I do like the idea, and hey, if it gets people thinking more sustainably about their clothes, I'm into it. But if you're looking for a side hustle, I do think that would be a great one that a lot of moms start. I think I want to shout out my friend Hannah Gresham. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I'm not sure if she has a name for it. But go to Hannah Gresham Instagram, and she does story sales on Thursdays, I think, where she thrifts and then, you know, marks them up just a little bit, like a reasonable amount, I would say, and offers like curated secondhand boxes based on your Pinterest boards, and she'll do sales of items that she's found for men and women at the store. I think it's great. So really easy to get into. It does take a little bit of time, but the buy-in cost is pretty much whatever you want it to be. Ooh, I got a hair stuck in my eye. So you could go and like spend $30 at a Goodwill and then come home, post about it, or offer an in-person sale and make a lot more. So secondhand pop-up shops, obviously the digital version, that's Etsy, not Etsy, eBay, thank you. eBay or Facebook Marketplace. If you don't want to do the whole Instagram route or anything in person, you can, you know, do that on eBay. People have been doing that for a long time. Okay. In the same vein, we're going to talk about flipped furniture. It's a good side hustle. Go to Goodwill, go to an estate sale, go to the side of the road, grab a piece of furniture, come home, sand it, strip it, paint it, seal it, she's ready to go. I have not sold any furniture. It's not really something I'm trying to do, but we used to live in a college town in Oxford, Ohio, and we were driving through a neighborhood after move-in weekend or move-out weekend, and we found two pieces of furniture that were just on the side of the road, and we took them because they were like throwing them away, literal trash. And so one was like a maroon wooden cabinet. I stripped it, stained it, painted it light sage green, added new hardware to it, and now it's our entry level, like our entry room table, and has storage. It's beautiful. It's so pretty. And I was like, dude, I got this for free, and I spent $10 on paint at Lowe's for this, and $10 on the hardware. And then the other one, I didn't even do anything to it. I just cleaned it out. It was just wood, and now it's our whiskey cabinet. So a lot of my friends have done that before. Can make some money for sure. You definitely do need a little more of a setup, like power tools are good, space to do a home project, but yeah, all good stuff. Okay, I need to speed this up. Virtual assistant. I have hired one. I have worked with one. I like it. I love it. I have not been a virtual assistant myself, but I definitely could see if I was like a super busy mom and I needed a little side income. If you can carve out some hours of your day, this would be a great side hustle. This is just doing virtual tasks for a brand, a company, a person, whatever. Things like going and scheduling social media posts on their behalf, answering emails in their inbox, managing their calendar and setting up meetings and link tracking. If you're an influencer, maybe that's like, tracking commissions and creating spreadsheets and reports for them. If you're a brand or a shop owner, maybe that's posting things to Pinterest, or maybe that's creating Canva graphics or web pages or copywriting. Like, there are lots of tasks that my virtual assistant has done, and I pay a premium price for her, and she deserves it. But I don't expect most virtual assistants to do the amount of things that I have asked her to do. So some of them might be a little like more like one task oriented, like just scheduling social media posts. But others might be able to do a range of things, and I think that's a really good one. So you can decide if you're setting up your own virtual assistant or VA business, what you want to do, what you want to offer, and some rates that go with it. All right, another one, digital products. So I have a digital product shop. It is for photographers. I'm expanding it soon for other creatives as well. It is both on my website, indiajadephoto.com/shop, and on Etsy, India Jade Photography, the shop. It is fun, and I've made some sales, and it took a lot of time to create the digital products, but I did it all from my computer. I don't have to package anything, and once in a while I get a nice little tiny check. It's still small, but it's fine because I'm starting and I'm not afraid of failing. So if you want to do something like that, go to Canva, look up ways to create an ebook on a skill that you know, or, pop into InDesign and create a pricing guide for a service or illustrations, and you could sell those on, I'm saying so much, on Etsy or on your own website as a digital product. You could make a menu, downloadable PDF. You could make all kinds of stuff. The possibilities are endless, and it's fun. Okay. Another side hustle to try, rentals. Like I mentioned with Bohio, I did a rental company. You could do that too. Rent out furniture, rent out your car on Turo, rent out your house on Airbnb. There's all kinds of rental ideas, and I think that's like an easy way we could be making money. We have talked about renting out our house, but I think while we live here, it's probably a no-go just because that'd be a little weird. But you could try it. I don't know. I have for sure booked Airbnbs when other people live in the house, and it's like I'm just renting the room. Now that I'm thinking about that, it's a little creepy, but it's fine. There's never been an issue. Okay. You could also try the side hustle of being a writer on Medium. This is a platform for writers. I believe it pays you for the articles ahead, like you choose the article and how much you're getting paid, but it'll say like, we need an article about dog walking for 500 words and you'll make $150, something like that. So I think that's a really great one if you are a writer or if you are good with words, good with editing, and want to make a little cash. Coaching and mentoring obviously is another great side hustle. And I don't mean this in like a get rich quick way. I mean in you have a set of skills, you know what you're talking about, and you would love to lead someone else and help them reach their goals, whether that's life coaching. I've seen wardrobe stylists offer this, which I think is so cool. I would love to do that one day. Celebrity stylists do stuff like this. I do this for mentorships for business owners and photographers. Again, like health and wellness coaches, personal training, anything like that. You could be a coach or a mentor. You can also, I was just going to say, you could make that a digital product service, which I think has gotten pretty big recently, but it just depends on how much time you have, because the course, it just takes a long time to like build, but you could try that too. And then the last two, social media ads manager. This is not something you need a degree for. You don't need to go to college and get an advertising or marketing degree to be a social media ads manager. You could, and there are people who do. But I would argue that's probably a pretty big waste of money if your goal is to just do that for people a la carte. You could watch YouTube videos and learn how to manage ads through Google and Meta Business Suite, how to run them, what the analytics mean, and how to charge for them. And I've paid social media ads managers lots of money to do just that, to run ads and sponsored content for me. You could be that person. You could be that person. And the last thing, last side hustle, baking. Okay, obviously you have to be good at baking, like at least a little, but that's another one of those things that like you can learn that skill. You can watch some YouTube videos. You could start your own sourdough company. You could make muffins for neighbors and functions. You could sign up to be at a farmer's market and sell cookies and cakes and pastries. Like, you don't have to like think too crazy when you're thinking of a side hustle, like, oh my gosh, I have to make money quick tomorrow, or I have to, be a master at this or start a whole new thing. You could just say, hey, I enjoy baking and I'm going to double every recipe, and then post one of them on Facebook or Instagram and offer to sell that one. And then it grows and it grows. I'll give a quick story. One of my friends' moms, all her kiddos are out of the house. They're all in their 20s and upper 20s. Yeah, I was going to say 30s, but I think they're all in their 20s. And she started her own baking company. And I just think it's the coolest thing ever. And I hired her to do our wedding cake. And it was delicious. And she sells at farmers markets and at church events and at local coffee shops. And I'm just like, wow, that's what we're talking about. Like, just going for it and not being afraid. So I hope this was helpful for you. Again, do not forget to submit your secret confessions. I have the link down in the show notes. And yeah, let me know what side hustles you're trying. Okay, do not be afraid of failure, guys. We're flying. We're not falling. Bye!